Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Stephanie. Thank you for watching, by the way. Okay, so today we're going to talk about a topic that is not widely spoken about. I just felt the need to speak on it, and so we're going to be talking about grief. We're going to touch it lightly, so it's not like we're going in depth. A lot of people do not have like support systems when they lose a loved one. They just do not know who to speak to, how to speak to them. And then most like people who come to say, oh, we are sorry, they don't even know how to go about it. You get that you go to tell to visit someone, the person gets offended, and you're like, what did I say wrong? And what did I do wrong? The thing is that most of us from this part of the world do not know how to relate with people that are grieving, that just lost a loved one. So I'm going to speak about my own situation, and mind you, no two cases are the same. So there's no templates, there's no rule book to handle grief. I remember when I lost my dad, someone told me, I don't like the way you're grieving. And I felt so bad because how are you telling me that you don't like the way I'm grieving? Is there a book for it? Is there a template? Is there a rule book that this is what you should do, this is what you should follow? I was really sad. It was so obvious, and she wasn't saying it from a bad point. She felt like I was allowing sadness engulf me, but our choice of words were not it at all, and I felt offended. But now I understand better, anyways. So let's get into the topic. So if you know me, you know I speak about my dad a lot. I was really my dad's favorite. Like, he loved me. I was the joy of his old age. He would always say that you make me so happy. Like, he was very vocal about how much he loved me. So my dad passed, and I felt guilt. I felt guilt more than pain, to be honest. I felt guilt more than pain. So I speak to my dad every day. Like, we normally would talk every day, every day, every day. Till date, it's still hard to talk about him in past tense. We normally would talk every day, and on this day, the 10th of September, my sister calls me and says that she heard that daddy's case has become worse. So, and they were not telling me, he was not telling me, my mother was not telling me because they didn't want me to be worried. I wish they told me, but they were doing it out of love. And that, so I said, okay, I'll go to Warri tomorrow. So my family lives in Warri. I was in Lagos. I'll go to Warri tomorrow, and that was it. So that day, I went to visit. Okay, I called him immediately and I said, hello, daddy, how are you? How are you doing? And he said, I'm fine. Mind you, my dad is really positive minded. Like, every time he just says, he speaks in the positive. And this day I asked him, so he had a respiratory condition. And this day I asked him, are you breathing well? Normally he will say, I am by the grace of God. And this day he said, I'm not so sure. No, he said, I don't know about that. Those were his words. I don't know about that. This was the 10th of September. He said, I don't know about that. And I said, you will be fine. And I regret one thing. I was planning on going the next day, but I wanted to surprise him. And I regret not saying that I'm coming to see you tomorrow. Maybe he would have stayed a little bit longer. But I just wanted to surprise him. I wanted to see the joy on his face when he sees me. And I didn't say that. And then I went to see a friend of mine somewhere in Magodo. Whilst I was there, I didn't even get to speak to my dad because I was busy with this friend I went to see. And then on my way home, I was in an Uber and I said I was going to call. I didn't call. All of this was because I didn't want too much. I know my dad, he might just get me and know that this girl is coming. So I didn't want to talk too much. I'd spoken to him earlier in the day. I just wanted to see that look on his face the next day when he sees me. And then when I got home, I kept getting the urge to speak to him, the urge to call him. That time I had one toaster. So I was on the phone with the toaster for like 1 hour. And when I looked at my phone, it was past 10. And past 9 to 10. And I said to myself that, daddy might be sleeping. Let me not call him now. Anyways, I'm going to see him tomorrow. Mind you, I had spoken to him earlier in the day, so I done our regular day-to-day call. I wish I called. And the next morning, I got up really early because I was to go to Worry to go see him. So I got up really early to take my shower. I woke up to one of my sister's missed call, but I didn't call back. I just assumed that maybe she wanted us to do like prayers and all. I didn't call back. I didn't even let them know. So my mother didn't even know that I was coming to Worry. So nobody knew I was coming. I didn't let them know I was coming. And then my older sister walks into the room, and I still lived with my sister then. And she looked not so bright, but I didn't know my dad had passed. And I told her that. So I went downstairs to. I think went downstairs to have a slice of bread, and her husband came downstairs. I greeted him. He looked somehow too. He walked past me that way. He responded, but he just walked past, and I'm like, this is so unusual. And then she saw me, and I went to tell her that, oh, Auntie June, I'm going, and she said, okay, let me know when you get there. She normally doesn't look this way. So I said, okay. I entered the car, and I was, at this point, it hit me that something might have happened. So I called my sister, Wemi, and I said, Wemi, where are you? She said, I think she said, okay, Wemi is one person who doesn't know how to cover up things. Her voice sounded somehow, and she said, I did Bendel Estate. My sister is married, so Bendel Estate is my family house, and I wondered what she'll be doing in Bendel Estate. And I said, anything. She said, no. So I think at that point, people there were telling her, don't talk. And she said, no. She's married. What will she be doing at Bendel Estate? That's my family house, at past 7 in the morning. I chilled. And then I called my brother, Oda, and I said, Alpha, where you dey? He said, they walk. Waiting up. I said, how dad? He said, nothing. No, everybody did now, nothing. At this point, I still did not have the strength to call my dad. So I called him and he didn't pick. I called the friend I went to see the previous day, to say that I have a feeling my dad passed. I was crying. I was in an Uber. I was crying badly. And he said, relax. I don't think he passed. Maybe he's sick and in the hospital and cannot talk and they don't want you to know. I tried calling my friend Tonya. I think he rang and she didn't pick. And then I messaged my friend Udwak. I remember it was Udwak I messaged. And I said, I think my dad passed. And she called me immediately. As she called me, I started crying. She said, where did you hear this from? How did this happen? And I think she dropped the phone and called my aunt. My sister rather. And my sister told her, she knew. And she told her that yes, he passed. So Tonya's call kept coming in, but I think everybody had found out. I didn't pick anybody's call. I got to the park. There was no vehicle going to Worry. So I found a bus going to Benin. So I was like, okay, let me use the one going to Benin. If I get to Benin, I can find my way to Worry. I cried from Lagos to Benin. That was the longest flight ever. I cried. There was this older couple sitting beside me, and you know how older people can be. The woman noticed, that's the wife, and she said, are you okay? And I said, I think I just lost my dad. And she said, I'm so sorry. Like, she was just tapping my back. I cried. Somewhere after Ore, I got a call from one of my sister's friends who, she too, I'm sure, thought I knew. I knew at this point, but I just wanted that confirmation. And it's not like anybody had told me he had passed, but I just knew. And she sent me a message saying, sorry about your dad. And this person supposedly has also lost somebody, and I thought she would know better. I feel like the first 24 hours when someone loses a loved one, it's not the time to text them to say, sorry about your loss. You know what? Because they might not know. They might not have gotten confirmation. And this person I thought would know better because she has lost a loved one. And she sent me that message saying, sorry about your dad. I know how much he loved you, blah, blah, blah. And it sank again that truly, my dad passed. I got to Benin. I wasn't so familiar with Benin, but Benin is Benin, you'll find your way. So I asked, where can I get a vehicle going to Worry? I got to Saple. That was the time the road was bad. Vehicles could not go from Saple to Worry. So I had to get on a bike with a stranger that night to a point, and then I took a cab home. When I got home, there was a canopy outside my compound. There were cars outside. We are not big on visitors and having people around like that. So it was another confirmation. And then as I opened the gate, from my gate to my balcony, I'd seen my dad's picture on a table with a book in front. So you know that register thing they do, and it was the confirmation I needed. The cry, I wailed. It wasn't that I cried. I wailed. It was from my stomach. It cannot be replayed. It's not something that, I don't think an actor or an actress can play that thing. Like, I wailed. That's how they knew I'd come. I was broken. I screamed, and it just made everybody start crying again. Because firstly, I got the urge several times. I remember when I was coming from Magodo, there's this cold stone at Magodo. Around that spot, I got the sign to call him, and this was like 4 p.m. in the evening. I didn't, just because I wanted my surprise to hit really hard the next day. And once I was talking to this toaster on the phone at night, I kept getting the urge to drop the call and speak to my dad. Even after I dropped that call, I still had the urge to call him. But I said, oh, he might be sleeping. And it made me feel so bad. For several months, I felt like if I was there, my dad would not have passed. I know so well. He might have passed eventually, but not on the day that he passed. And it broke me. Like, I had made plans, so he died a day to his birthday. I'd made plans for cake and all of that. Since I was going to be home, I cannot even go deep into what led to my dad's death. He was actually sick, and I wish I was there. I wish I was present. Sometimes we think that we're busy. I need to be here for my business. I need to be this. When the person passes, God forbid, you will come now, you will go. So sometimes you just make out time for the people that love you. Like, there's no reason I should have been there. For many, I didn't know it was that serious, but I should have been there. There's no excuse. I should have been there for my dad in the last days. Like I said, I felt more guilt than hurt, because I should have been there. My dad passed behind my back, like I wasn't there. It hurt me so much, because every step of the way, for my common entrance, like when I had to write common entrance into secondary school, my dad took me there. When I had to write posterior me, my first posterior me in Uniport, he took me there. When I had to write posterior me in Delso, he took me there. It's not like he dropped me at the park, he took me there. When I graduated from uni, my father came to help me pack my things. Every step of the way, whilst I was doing my youth service, he would take me to the park every time, call every time till I get to Uyo. I served in Uyo. He was there every step, and I felt so guilty that I was not there in his last days. So guilt was eating me up, and if you know me, you know I am very secretive. So no one knew that I was dying of guilt. It was literally eating me up, and it was just there. One day, shout out to Victor. Victor is so amazing. That's my love. He's everything. He just said, there was a message he sent to me. I can't remember it word for word. And he said, can I pray with you? And he prayed with me, and that helped. Sometimes prayer is all you need. It just helps you. It just takes the pain away. It doesn't leave permanently. The loss of a loved one is not something, see me getting teary today, years after. It's not something that you forget. It always comes to mind, especially when you have like a present loved one. My dad was a present dad. He was there for me. Like, there's this thing in my secondary school they call open days. Open days is a day where parents come. I'm not sure they do it in all schools, but they did it in my school. And I remember every year they did it, my dad was the only father that would come. Every time. He was so present in my life, and it hurt me that I wasn't present in his last days. My last visit to Warrior was in June, and he passed in September. There was a long time for me to have gone back, but it happened. That aside, let's not make it a sad one. But that aside, I just want to encourage us to really, as much as possible, visit our parents, visit our loved ones, talk to them. When you have the nudge to speak to them, even to your friends, call them and speak to them. Anyways, one thing that helped me get out of that phase was prayers. Like, I really prayed myself out of it, because it was eating me up. After my dad passed, I just lost interest in so many things. So many things. Um, Many things hurt me about his death. I wish I got married before he passed. I really He's the only one who is deserving of walking me down the aisle. I wish I did. I won't even lie. That part hurt me. Many other things, but life happened. It happened. It happened, and I always say I'm a child that was raised in love, and that's one thing I keep carrying on. I am a child that was raised in love, and that's one thing. Positive vibes, positive energy I have till date is because I was raised in love, and I'm grateful to my parents, shout out to my mom. When my dad passed, she just wore the shoes so well. So my dad, all my life, was the first to send me birthday messages on my birthdays, and since my dad passed, my mom has been doing it. Like, everything my dad used to do to make me happy, she has constantly been doing them. And shout out to my mom, God bless her. I'm so grateful. Shout out to my dad, my siblings, everyone. I am just grateful that I really had, to my friends too, that I really have great support system. Away from that, so I just want to say that there's no template to getting out of grief, the loss of a loved one. You don't even get out of it completely, but when that thing that weighs you down comes, just pray. So if you don't, I believe in God, so I pray. But if you don't believe in God, you can affirm. So there's something called affirmation. You can say, I'm a happy person, I am this, I am that. That works for some people, but I believe in God and I pray to God when I feel down about the loss of my dad. So I hope I'm not sounding like, I don't want you guys to feel that way. Anyway, so he passed. A lot happened. Burial came, and when burial time preparation comes, difference in interests. Like, one uncle will say this, one sibling will say this. You will say something that is wrong because you're not a perfect being. At that point, bring in God, because arrangements like that can scatter the family completely. At that point, bring in God. I remember my dad has two nieces that I have never liked since I was a child. I call them my aunties because they are way older, but they are my dad's nieces, and he carried them on his head. Like, he loved them so much. And one of them didn't come for his burial. The other one came a day too. She didn't enter the house. If I didn't know my dad was sick and he was actually old, I would have thought they had a hand in his death. They did it anyways. But I think they're just very wicked people. She came and she followed to go and get drinks. The older one, a day too, blah 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 blah. But no sign. She didn't tell me, Bemi. Okay, so Bemi is my native name. She didn't say, Bemi, go, sorry. Everybody knew how much my dad's death hurt me. She didn't say one word. The younger sister, that one is the bigger witch. That one did not come for my dad's burial. And those things happen. You now get to see relatives that will hurt you. Don't dwell in that hurt. The person that has died has died. Don't dwell in that hurt. You can distance yourself from them, but don't dwell in that hurt. I didn't dwell in that. I never liked them, to be fair. Two yellow wishes. I hope they don't watch this video. They don't even know where I am, so they don't watch it. But anyways, I haven't spoken to them since he passed. They've not called me. I don't have their numbers. They never told me sorry. They never spoke to me. Nothing. But I commit them into God's hands every day, and I just say that maybe they too were hurt. He was their uncle. Maybe they were hurt. Maybe they didn't know how to communicate. And I'm not judging them, but I felt really hurt because this man literally carried them on his head all his life, and the little respect you did not give to him even in death. So those things will come. Family members that you will feel betrayed, you never want to speak to them. If I see them on the road, I'll say hi to them. However, I don't consider them my family members anymore. They are human beings, and maybe they were hurt too. All of those little things will come. Family members will disagree. Relationships will be mad. But at the end of the day, I just keep saying that anything that comes out of grief, just handle it. Give it to God. Just tell God to take charge. And may we not lose our loved ones, please. You will not have reasons to grieve. We will not bury. We will not be buried. But I'm just talking to people who are going through this phase or have experienced it. God is really our source of joy. So my dad's death really hurt me, but here I am. I'm fine. I'm better. I feel really good, and every day I say that he built a solid foundation. He sowed in my life and he sowed positive energy only. So I feel good. I don't even look back. He lived a good life too. I don't look back and feel sad. That guilt is no longer there. I feel really good overall. So that's it. I just wanted to talk about grief and all that it takes to come out of it. Get a support system so you can find your support system even in a book. So just keep reading books. You can find your support system in plants. There are people who just become plant moms, have plants around. It could be a pet. I'm not big on pets, but you could just find a pet. It could be your spouse, your friends, even family members. So for some people, the loss of a loved one even brings the family closer. So any way you can get yourself out of it, get yourself out of it. You need to leave. You're still alive and you need to leave. So do everything in the world to make you happy. So yeah, that's that on grief and everything I was going to talk about. So I'm just trying to say that stay happy. Lately I have been so happy. Generally I consider myself a very happy person. But lately I've been so happy because I just commit my life to God. I just tell God, take charge. Like I know I know the future is bright. I know that my life is it's a glorious one, and I know the future is bright. That's all I see. So guys, that is that on grief. So it doesn't even have to be the loss of a loved one. It could just be some form of emptiness. It could just be you feeling that you're delayed in life. It could just be you feeling that, oh, I should have gone past this phase. It could just be you struggling financially and you are like, my life wasn't like this 3 years ago. And whatever it is in life, just find a way. Force yourself. It's not as easy as we say, but find a way. You need to do it for you. You cannot be productive when you're in a dark space. You cannot. You will be less productive. So you need to find light. You need to find a way out of it. So please stay happy. Make yourself feel lively. Do all the things that makes you happy. So that's that about today's vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. So guys, stay happy, stay positive, do the things that make you happy. I always will encourage people to do things that make them happy. So for me, I like fine dining, I like to go out, I like to sing with people, I like music, so sometimes I just want to listen to worship songs. Sometimes I listen to secular music too. But whatever makes you happy, just do it. I have amazing friends. I have an amazing support system. I have good people around me and I bask in it. So please do the same for yourself. Stay happy. Do everything that makes you happy. Look good too. Yeah, our looks matter. So when you look good, you feel good. I don't know if it's a rule of thumb, but for me, when I look good, I actually feel good on the inside. So look good, stay happy, do everything that makes you happy. Thank you so much, guys. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, do all of those cute things they do, guys. Please subscribe, share the video with your friends. Thank you and thank you and thank you. Bye, guys.